Hello, BookTube. This is Alan. I'm here with a tag today. I know it's not Tuesday. Today's Thursday, but I have a day off today, and I have a day off tomorrow, so I thought I'd catch up on a tag that I was tagged actually twice. Once by James Holder about 50 years ago, and another one tagged again by Jack at the Ramblin' Racketeer about a week ago. So this is the Brandon Sanderson tag. Almost everything you want to know about Brandon Sanderson, but really don't care. And the original tag is done by Christy Lewis. And her YouTube book channel is called Dostoevsky in Space. And that's probably the best thing for to read. Dostoevsky is in space because of the vastness of what he writes. Okay, let's go on. Prompt number 1. Brandon wrote many early novels while working as a night clerk at a Provo hotel. What book kept you reading late into the night? Actually, none kept me reading late into the night. There were several that kept me interested in that I finished the book in a short period of time, or just one day. And I remember I got Remains of a Day and read that book and just finished it real quick. It got me interested. Prompt number 2. Brennan's complex magic system sets his fantasy apart. What subject do you love to read about in all its complexity? Well, complexity has to deal with something that you have to take a moment and ponder and think about things, like, for instance, Roberto Eco's Vogtlet's pendulum. So you have to just think about it. There's a couple of others examples. Theology. Theology has a lot of books that has to think about, and this is John Owen, The Death of the Death of the Death, and the Death of Christ. And this is a reprint edition, and this is the picture of Christ Church of Oxford. He was John Owen's permanent dean. He was actually the chaplain to Thomas Cromwell. So this came out first published in 1852, and this is the reprint edition in 1999. So generally, what this book is about is that, I read to the back of it. It says, the death of the death and the death of Christ is a medical work designed to show, among other things, that the doctrine of universal redemption is unscriptural and destructive of the gospel. Those who see no need for doctrinal exactness and have no time for theological debates, which show up divisions between evangelicals, may well regard its reappearance. Some may find the very sound of Owen's thesis so shocking that they refuse to read his book at all. But there is signs today of new upsurgence of interest in theology of the Bible, a new readiness to test traditions, search scriptures, and think through the faith. It is to those who share this readiness that Owen's treatise is offered, in the belief that it will help us in one of the most urgent tasks facing evangelical Christendom today, the recovery of the gospel. So this is a very complex, dense work. So you have to take your time in all its complexity to read it. Number 3. Brandon gets his book ideas from watching other storytellers fail to execute a concept. He figures how to do it better. He doesn't have an original idea of his own. He just steals from others. Okay. What 2 books handle the same concept in strictly different ways, and which do you prefer? Well, I only have one of the book. The other book I don't have. I've gotten rid of it. And the one book I do have is called The Fury by John Ferris. this beat up mass market paperback published by Popular Library. Came out in 1976. And it's a story about a young girl who has telekinetic abilities who can start fires. And she is pursued by a secret government agency. And while her father is trying to protect her. What does that remind you of? Yeah, Firestarter by Stephen King. I like this one better. I like this one better in all its complexities. Say word again. And it has a lot of information. It has a lot of details. There's a lot of other characters involved. There's one person that is woke up from a coma, and if you shake hands with him, he can tell the future, your future. Another Stephen King book. So yeah, The Fury by John Ferris. He actually wrote a sequel to this, and this was actually made into a movie. Brian De Palma. I think this is from the movie cover. I'm not sure. I've never seen the movie. So anyway, let's move on. Number 4. As a child, Brandon was recommended several books about dogs that die. There's actually 2 books that I can think of about dogs dying, and that's Old Yeller and Where the Red Fern Grows. As a result, he became a reluctant reader. Please share a motive, good or bad, from a childhood reading experience. I don't have one, so sorry, I'll skip that one. Number 5, Brandon and several friends host a writing excuses podcast, and they frequently invite guests. Please tell us about a collaborative fiction project and what you thought of it. Well, I don't have the book anymore because I moved, and when you're moving, you just kind of, well, I don't need this book, I'll take this book, and so on. So that book would be Face Off. Face Off was a book that was edited by David Baldacci. And what you have is an 11-story anthology of different thriller writers like Lee Child, Dennis Lehane, Steve Berry. I'm trying to look down at my notes here. Michael Connelly, Nick Haller. And what they did in the book, it's very short chapters in the book, and then it goes on to someone else. So what happens is that Lee Child will start and write a page, 2 pages, and introducing his character of Jack Reacher into a scene, and then I'll send it off to Nick Haller, and Nick Haller's main character is Joseph Feeder. I think I wrote that down right. And Nick Haller will put his character into the same scenario. So the 2 meet, Jack Reacher and this other gentleman, Joseph Feeder. So the 2 characters will meet in the story, and then it will go on. The scene will go on from there. The story will go on from there, and they'll go back and forth with Lee Child writing something, send it off to Nick Haller. He'll write something, and going back and forth like that. So yeah, that's called Face Off. It was an 11-story anthology, edited by David Baldacci. It was a very interesting book. It was very good, and it kept interesting. Number 6, I believe it is. Yes, number 6. Brandon's first book, White Sand Prime, was rewritten and eventually converted into a graphic novel called White Sands. What book would you like to see in another format? There's a couple of them. Roberto Eco, Fox and Pilgrim would be good as a graphic novel. His Name of the Rose would also be good as a graphic novel. I think that's about it. So I think that's all I can think of at the moment. So let's move on. Number 7. Brandon writes very quickly. What prolific author would you recommend? Oh, that would be a gentleman that I met at a writers' conference 4 or 5 years ago. He was the main speaker. He gave a couple of segments that he took part of, and that would be Jonathan Mayberry. This is his book, Vampire Universe, the dark world of supernatural beings that haunt us and hunger for us. Jonathan Mayberry is a Bram Stoker Award winner. He's written can't think of the guy's name. He's written a series of books that Steve Donahue actually recommends. I can't remember the guy's name. Joe Ledger novels. He's written Jonathan Mayberry. He's written anthologies about the X-Files, about V-Wars, Vampire Wars. He's written Marvel comic books, the Black Panther. I think he wrote one on Captain America. And he's written several screenplays. He's also written 2 books on jiu-jitsu. And this is his book, Vampire Universe. And it's actually a, basically it's a dictionary of the legends throughout the world, and it's filled with pen and ink drawings. And so you have something like cryptids. Cryptids are creatures that are believed to exist, but for which there is no existing physical records or evidences. The science of cryptozoology is built around discovering proof of these creatures so that they can move from a long list of unknown animals to proven additions to ever-growing fossil records. There's one called Accuser, one of the number of names given to Satan. And so you have different people, different beings, supernatural beings throughout the world. And of course there would be and so you have different pictures in here, and in the front you have color drawings, not photos. This is the Aufhocker, and it's in German folklore. There are tales of the Aufhocker, a savage honking canine monster that walks up a man. And several color illustrations here. That's pretty cool. You have the Blues Witches, the Bayabon Seth with the Scottish White Woman in the Highlands. This one here. You have different other, there's more photos. And it's pretty cool. And there's a little picture of a siren. And these things that appear in different folklore around the world. And there's one vampire that appears, and I can't get the name of it right now. It would take a while to look for it. And that would be a vampire that lives in Vietnam, and all he does is he eats cow dung. But if you disturb him while he's eating, he'll eat you. And there's the Vampire Slayers, a chapter on Vampire Slayers. And so you have people who go after the ghouls and after the different spirits that are haunting, like this one called the Dervish, an Iranian Sufi mystics who use dance-induced trances to drive evil spirits out of the rural villages. You have Genisimo Jin, which is a Japanese Buddhist patron goddess of little children to protect them from evil. So yeah, it's the Vampire Universe. Jonathan Mayberry. Where am I? Okay. Number 8, Brandon Cosmic Universe, Universal book, Platonic Philosophy. What book or series gets you really excited about the source material? That would be probably biographies, good written biographies, not ones written by Walter Isaacson. Don't even touch those. Yeah, good written biographies like this one I'm currently reading, Ostrich, because there's a lot of source material in the back. There's a lot of bibliographies. There's a lot of notes. There's a lot of supplementary data in here. I'm really enjoying this one so far. It's very good. So you have that one. You have books on biographies. There's Walt Disney one that I've shown before by Neil Gabler. This is a very extensive, very selective notes. So yeah, anything that has a lot of where the author has done a lot of research. It's good to look in the back to see what kind of research the author has done before you purchase the book. Number 9, Brandon loves to show multiple sides of every issue and to contrast character values. I believe that's what it says. Please share a book. I'm sorry, I can't. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to skip that one. Sorry. Number 10, Brandon Sanderson is a writing teacher, and like some writing teachers, repost his lectures online for free. Well, how lovely. The ones that he steals from other people. What free literature resource are you grateful for? Well, there's several. There's Writer's Digest has one on YouTube. There are several writing exercises on YouTube. NaNoWriMo posting videos. There are people on BookTube that have either written books or teach class on writing, and I like for them, if they would, to show us how to write a story, how to write a book, what's the process you go through, and that would be very interesting video, because Steve Donahue talks about that all the time, that he's written stories, and then he encourages us to write a story for NaNoWriMo, but he doesn't go through the process of writing. How do you actually get your sources together, come up with the idea of the writing concept? So, yeah, well, that's it. That's it for the Brandon Sanderson tag. And I thank Jack at Rambling Racketeer for tagging me, and James Hoder for tagging me. And so, y'all have a good day, and we'll probably do a video tomorrow for Friday Reads. Thank you very much, BookTube.